What's up, guys? Today I wanted to make a tutorial to teach you the basics of using frame data in Tekken 7. I know frame data is kind of like a complicated concept and it can be a little intimidating if you're a new player, but I promise it's not that hard to kind of understand the basics and start applying it to your game. So primarily in Tekken, you're going to be using frame data to figure out what moves punish what moves. So like you can find out what attacks are unsafe really easily and find out what's my max punish if I block, this certain attack. So we're going to jump right into an app called Tekken Chicken. So Tekken Chicken is an app that's on iOS and Android, and it's pretty good for finding your character's frame data. Now, this isn't a sponsored video or anything. I'm just a fan of the app, so I figured I would use that as my example, and they're one of kind of the easiest places to find frame data for Tekken 7 right now. So let's jump into my character, Leo, and we'll look at some of the different numbers here. So obviously you have damage, you have the hit level, whether it's high, medium, or low. You have frame advantage on block and on hit and on counter hit. We'll talk about what that means in a second. And then you've got the speed. So the only numbers we're going to care about today are frame advantage on block and speed, because this is what you're going to be using to figure out how to punish things. So speed is measured in frames, and that's basically how long it takes for attacks to come out. So very fast attacks are going to have a very low number of frames. And the fastest attacks in the game generally are going to be 10 frames. That's about as fast as it gets. Whereas slower attacks like back 2 plus 3. This has 70 frames of startup. It's a ridiculously slow attack, so you can tell immediately it takes over a full second to come out. The game runs at 60 frames per second. So that's the speed, the startup. Now let's talk about the advantage on block. So basically this describes when the opponent is going to recover after they block an attack relative to you. So basically if something is plus on block, then that means the attacker gets to attack before the defender afterward. It means the attacker is at advantage. Whereas if it's minus on block, like say down +4, this is minus on block, which means that the defender is at advantage. And if it's more than -10, remember I said the fastest moves in the game are generally going to be 10 frames of startup. If the advantage is more than -10, then that means that you can get punished when the opponent blocks this. So let's do like a real world example of this. Let's say that I'm having trouble punishing Claudio's up 4. This is like a super good move that Claudio players use a lot. So I don't know what my good punishes for this are. I don't know what I can do to get damage after I block this. So what I'm going to do in the app is I'll go to Claudio. Let's find this attack. Up +4. And we can see it's -13 on block. So that means any move that I have that's 13 frames of startup or faster will be able to punish it. So let's find something. We'll go to Leo. One really handy feature in Tekken Chicken is that you can pull up these filters. We're going to look for 10 to 13 frames of startup. So that means I know that everything here is going to be less than or equal to 13 frames. So I know these are all punishes. So stuff like 1-4 has 10 frames of startup. That's definitely going to work. So it says punish. You can tell that was a real punish. I think we can do better. Stuff like 2-2. 11 frames of startup, so we know that's going to punish as well. You can see it punishes. So I'm thinking that maybe the best thing I can get here is up forward 1-2. That's exactly 13 frames of startup. This is pretty damaging and it knocks down, so I think that's about as good as it's going to get. So now I know in this situation in a real match, whenever I block this move from Claudio, I'm good to go with the up forward 1-2. You do have to time it well because it is a tight punish. You have to do it kind of as early as possible after you block it, but it's guaranteed. Guaranteed damage whenever you block that. Now I want to do an example of blocking a low. So we'll look at Claudio's down 3. Claudio down +3. It is -17. That's very unsafe. So we should definitely have something that can punish that. We'll go to Leo. And so coming to look at Leo, we're going to search for WS for while standing. This is going to show us all our while standing moves, because generally while standing moves are going to be the best punishes for lows because you can go straight into it from a crouch. I think while standing 2 is probably her best, most damaging one. You can see the speed. They're not sure. It's either 16 or 17, but since his down 3 is minus 17, we know that's going to work. So let's test this out. Boom, punish. It works perfectly, and then this leads into a full combo. So that's pretty awesome. So now we know if we ever block that move, we get that guaranteed fat combo punish. So that's going to be about it, guys. Hopefully I've kind of broken down the barriers to making this a little bit easier for you guys to understand. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments, and I'll do my best to respond and help you out. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.